Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Diversity is Lit Book Club. We are so happy to have you here as we discuss our August Book of the Month pick, which was Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. And it has this nice Good Morning America Book Club sticker, which also looks familiar for the book that we have picked for September. I'm seeing a trend here with the ones that we like. But anyways, we will be discussing spoilers of this book, giving our thoughts, feels, and opinions. So if you are okay with spoilers, or you read the book, please keep watching. Join us in the comments with your opinions as we discuss and review this Dark Academia book. If you do not want spoilers and want to read the book first, then save this save this video to a playlist, read the book, then come back and watch our discussion and join in the comments, because we read the comments and interact. You're also free to join us on Goodreads, which is linked down below, where we have our forums, and you can also talk about books as well, because sometimes we run out of time with talking about all of the things that we have to discuss for said books. If you don't know who I am, my name is Holly Davis. I'm the author of, I have it here, A Diamond Bright and Broken, which this is actually the international edition. It is paperback and it is a little bit smaller than the hardcover version. So the international edition is coming out in October, so next month, which is really exciting. So you can get it at Waterstones and some other international, oh, hello, Oliver, some other international sellers. So definitely check that out if you're interested in young adult fantasy, which is mostly what I read, but I also love middle grade and all genres. This year, I've definitely been in my mystery thriller era. So I think because I've been working on my sequel, which is a fantasy, so I'm like, I can't do too much fantasy. I gotta save that for my own book. And then I will have my lovely co-hosts introduce themselves. They are linked down below, and we might be joined by one more co-host. I'm not sure if she's coming, but anyways, I'll go next.
Vanessa, you want to go?
Sure. Hey everyone, I'm Vanessa. Go by Vanessa Marie Books here, and I read fantasy, paranormal, and horror. Just excited to get into our discussion.
Yes, for sure.
Yay. Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Beasley. I write under the pen name T.A. Beasley, and I mainly focus on thrillers, but as of now, I'm currently writing a urban fantasy book, so dipping my toes into that, and I'm excited to talk about this book.
That's exciting, T. Hi, everybody. I am Heather Venkat, known as Write Heather Venkat. On the internet, I am a YA and middle grade, mostly fantasy, but also contemporary writer.
Yay! I guess he wants to go behind me. So also sorry if my cats are walking all over me, because I was in Arizona up until 5 p.m. yesterday visiting Heather, who's my twin, if you can't see the similarities. But so they definitely miss their mommy. So sorry if tails are swishing back and forth. But so along with our spoiler warning, we also have trigger warnings for this book. Oops, I thought I pulled it up. Sorry, let me see. Which we try to be as comprehensive as possible, but especially with newer books that come out, sometimes it's a little harder to find if the author or publisher doesn't provide them. But so if there's any ones that we want to add, feel free. The ones that they have listed are intentional harm, stabbing, maiming, pushing off a building, taking pills, suicide, gore, and blood. Probably. Oh, I see one for one below. Academic pressure. Bullying. Injury detail. That's for this book I have below. And I guess oh shoot, not gaslighting, but what's the one where you're like, yeah, like manipulation, or like you're holding something over the person's head. Like hold on.
Yeah, what would that be? I mean,
All that.
Holding something over someone's head. Threatening? Blackmail. That was the word.
Oh, okay.
Blackmail.
Yeah.
Oh, look at these synonyms. Also, manipulation, threatening. Yeah, blackmail. Yeah, all of these apply to.
Yeah, there was blackmail in there. Yeah.
So our first question is, what are your overall thoughts, feels, and opinions on the book? What star rating would you give it on Goodreads or your rating platform of choice? Is someone dying? I had that for the no-brainers guide, and then it counts for this one too. Dying to go first.
Oh.
I'm still trying to decide.
Okay, I can go because I know my opinion. Like, so I read this while I was on vacation this past week, so I read it in like 4 days, so it's still pretty fresh in my mind. But I absolutely loved it. I don't read a lot of dark academia books, so I was really excited to read this one. It actually wasn't one of the ones that I had voted for on the poll, but I'm really glad that we did read it. I know they say, like, a lot of times an author's debut, clearly we are all authors, writers, and know that this probably is not the first book that she's written. But whether it is or isn't, it is her debut novel. It's a really strong debut novel. I really liked the prose. It was, her writing style was descriptive without being like thick to get through. So it was like that perfect balance. And I was really surprised because I immediately saw that there was like more than one point of view, not knowing that it was all 6 of the nominees. And I was like, I don't think I can listen to the audiobook of this, at least right away, because I know I'm going to be too confused. So, I read the physical copy and I was not confused with all of the points of view. I feel like Ivy did such a good job with fleshing out each of the characters, giving them their own arcs, making you care about each of them. And like it was just really easy to follow the story. The first chapter did have a lot of like info dumping. There was a lot of information I was writing down, but once you kind of got past that, I mean, it was just awesome. Lots of twists. I had my suspicions of things, but I feel like she planted it well. There were some things that I didn't guess that happened, some things that I did, or maybe I had an idea of it, but didn't quite know how it was going to play out. So I felt like that was executed really well. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Really excited that there's more than one book. I think it's going to be a trilogy. I'm not sure, but I will be here for it because I really enjoyed it. And yeah, and it was fresh too to have the like rivals to lovers versus the typical enemies to lovers that we read, because they weren't quite enemies. It's more when it's usually in a school setting, they kind of call it the rivals, or there's already kind of that like tension. So I really liked that dynamic too. So. And hi, Raph. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Hello.
Yeah, I can go next because I Started reading it. Well, actually, I started the audiobook, and I was like, "Oh, this is this is a lot." When I So then I bought the physical book, and I kind of like alternated between reading and listening to it, so that I got through it in this past week. So I was kind of like listening to it on the way to work and coming back from work. Um, and so I kind of got a good balance of how it sort of read in both mediums. And I enjoyed both. So I feel like once I got like through all of the POVs physically, it was much easier for me to listen to the audiobook. And I really enjoyed it. I finished it this morning, and gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was funny because I had written, when they first kind of introduced Augustine, I was like, frenemy question mark. So like the rivals, I was like, that's the word I was looking for. Like, yeah, kind of like friend, but they're like not. So I really enjoyed like the dynamics between the characters, and it was really fresh to see. I was glad that, because at first I was worried that the characters were mostly going to be interacting with. So what I noticed was when Ivy introduced the POV, there would be another character in that POV, and then later, so it was like August and Ren, Olivier and Emilio, and then Irene and Masika. And so at first I was like worried that they were we were just kind of going to see a lot of dynamics and interactions just between those like duos, but they do kind of mix and integrate, and I liked that, and it wasn't like overwhelming like too much at first, because I was like, oh my gosh, they're all like in the same place together, and it's like I'm gonna get confused. But I feel like Ivy did a really good job of like slowly kind of introducing a little bit more depth to the characters, like some of their backstory, which we still don't have that fully fleshed out. I'm assuming that's going to happen in the sequel. But I felt like the pacing was really good, and the writing was really strong. I just really enjoyed it. I didn't predict many things that happened, so as per usual, but yeah.
Oh, I'll go next. I gave it a 4. I liked like everything you guys were saying. I liked all of that. It did take me a little bit once I realized there was going to be a bunch of POVs. Like when I first got to do the first part of getting to each POV, then I was like, okay, maybe I can keep them separate, especially since the duos was like intertwined in the chapters together. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to be partners at some point in these trials or this thing that they've got to go through. So that kind of helped me with those. I like the writing style too. I like the trials that they were put through, because I thought some of them was kind of brutal and kind of creepy. And I like creepy. I think some of the stuff that they had to go through was kind of creepy, but I was like, oh, okay, this is my kind of creepy. And I like like with Ren and August, the rivalry to love thing. Even though you had that one going on, you also had Emilio going on, but I don't think she let that overpower the story, which I liked. I mean, you knew there was some connection there, but the story wasn't just mainly their connection. So I liked that part in it. I did figure out a lot of the reveal stuff early, but it was still worth going through and reading it for those reveals to happen, even though I kind of put pieces together. And there was several characters that I didn't trust even at the beginning. So I was like, oh yeah, you're on my suspect list. So I had people on my suspect list. I was like, okay. And then once I got toward the middle and they got to maybe the second, I think it was the second trial, I was like, yo, what I was thinking was correct. So I did figure that stuff out. But I like her writing. I would continue with if it's going to be a trilogy or a duology or whatever. I would still continue on with it because, like Heather said, you get a little bit of their backstory, but you don't get all of it. So I'm feeling like in the next book, some of the stuff that they hinted to in here will probably be a little bit more displayed because they all had secrets, and you got a hint of those secrets. And some did some things they probably shouldn't have did, and some, some got caught up in some stuff. So I want to know more about those things, the secrets and things that's going on. Um, but some of the characters in there, I was like, okay, there's a lot of darkness going on with you. I hope that comes out a lot more in the next book too. But overall, I really enjoyed it. At first, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like this. I voted for this, but I'm not gonna like this. But then as I kept going, I was like, okay, just give it some time. Now, granted, I finished it 30 minutes before we came on.
It's all fine. It's totally fine.
So I was straggling a little bit because I got sick and had to do a bunch of breathing treatments and stuff. So I couldn't finish as fast as I wanted to. But I still think it was worth reading. So I did enjoy it. So I give it, it wasn't a 5-star for me because some of the annoyance with some of the characters, but it's a good 4.5 for me.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
And that you can make it. Yeah.
Well, for me, I kind of figured I would be the odd one out here.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
This will make for a juicy discussion.
Yes.
I kind of want to know what Alicia thinks as well, since
Yes.
But I really wanted to like it. However, it just didn't work for me, and I think it mainly has to do with all the POVs. I just think it was way too many, and it was confusing a bit in the beginning. And I usually do the audio and the physical. And the nice thing about the audio is they have different narrators for each POV. So you get 6 different narrators, but still doesn't help with some of the confusing parts in the beginning. I would have, I think, liked it better if we had just gotten 3, maybe 4 at max POV. Some of them, like Emilio and Olivia, I don't really think they necessarily needed their own. I think we could have seen their bits through their interactions with the other characters. And I feel like that if we had cut out theirs and focused on some of the other characters more, that might have helped. And also might have helped strengthen the characters for me. Because I really did not care for anyone in particular. Each POV we get is most of the chapters with them are pretty short. They're not very long chapters, and since it's constantly switching from one character to the next, and some of them barely even have in some of the sections, you barely see a character's POV. Like for August, I think it was in the betrayal section, maybe, or maybe after that, where he only had one chapter of his POV, and we mostly focus on Irene, Masika, and I think Ren. So yeah, I think it could have been more balanced out that way. Because just for me, I wasn't really drawn or engaged with any of the characters, which sadly made me not really care for what was happening in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me like around 300 pages before I finally started getting interested in what was going on. But even then, and when I get to like the twist towards the end, some of them it's like, yeah, okay, I can see how that would be. And some of the twists, I'm just like, I see why we went there. Am I surprised? No. Do I care? Not really. Yeah, so that's why I'm just like, I wish I liked it more. Unfortunately, I didn't. I did give it 3.5 stars because the writing is strong and the book itself is gorgeous. The
Mm-hmm.
pages
Yes, we forgot to show that off.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
the design on the cover underneath the dust jacket and
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's a gorgeous book.
Yeah.
Which is why they say don't judge a book by its cover.
Cover.
So yeah, I did by the end of it start to get a little bit more into it by the end. And by the end, I'm kind of at like a 50-50 on whether I'll continue or not. Part of me is like, might be interesting to see where they go with the story next. But then another part of me is like, but do I really care? I guess we'll see when the second one comes out. But the other thing I was gonna mention, I think, is also why I didn't. I had a hard time getting into the story. I think it just, to me, it kind of seemed like we were being, I don't know, like at times when I was reading, I was like, this feels like a sequel, not a first book. And I feel like I'm missing a lot that I should probably know. I don't, and maybe that's just because of where we start off in the story, where we're picking up. The students are there. They've been there for years, and they're just not entering this competition. And the new student, which was another thing I was thinking, with all the different POVs. Like, obviously now I see why we didn't get Louise's POV, although I feel like she could have still done Louise's and still had that surprise twist in the end. Considering the blackouts, the blackout periods Louise had, I think she could have still worked that POV in, even with the twist. But I was thinking, like, normally when we're going into a fantasy world like this, most of the time, if it's a first book, we are following along the character who is new to this world and is learning it right alongside of us, which helps make it easier to grasp things and to understand the world and what's going on and the characters and everything. And I feel like if we had had that with Louise's POV, that might have helped with it feeling like it might have helped with the confusion and for it to not feel like we're kind of in the middle of a sequel rather than the first book.
Yeah, there were two thoughts I came up with with what you were saying. Because one, I'm like, yeah, like we are kind of thrown in the middle of it. I mean, Olivier's been there for hundreds of
Oh
years.
wow. Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like the nature of them being dead and in this, purgatory is, yeah, there's all this stuff that's happened beforehand. And I think that's, what made it hard at the beginning with the kind of info dumpy stuff was that it couldn't be shown because she already is supposed to know it.
Know it.
So it was kind of thrown in there as opposed to, kind of more being shown or sprinkled in along the way. And because like we knew like, oh, the decennial is their goal, then it was just kind of like we had to be thrust into it, maybe sooner.
Which is why, like I said, if we had Louisa's POV, it would have helped with that because she's new to this world. We're new to this world, so it kind of helps us to like learn it alongside of her.
Yeah, because Ren was teaching her, and she could have been like explaining these things or showing her, or Louise could have been in class learning these things, and then it wouldn't have felt, like too much. I would maybe, but
yeah,
to me, it made it obvious when Louise got thrown into it. Because my first thought is, okay, Louise must be a mole, and either she's of the Demian order, or somebody's possessing her so that they can infiltrate to find out what's going on in Blackwood. So that was my first thought when they first introduced her, and they was like, "Oh my gosh, she used the shadow magic or whatever." I was like, "Yeah, she's a Mo. She's a Mo. She was sent there. She is a Mo."
That's so good. You got
and
that.
either somebody's is possessing her from the Demian order, and she doesn't realize it, or she knows it. But I think she's a Mo. That was my first thought of her.
I also think for me that's part of the problem was like, see, I wouldn't have even thought to guess that she's being possessed because I didn't even know if that was a possibility in this world. And so I don't think the rules, the world building is fleshed out enough. So I'm like,
well, it was
possible? Is it like, well, because
it was interesting. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I know they eventually explain something, but like just from the start, there's a lot that it's like, okay, how does this world work? And like, eventually we did get to know because some of the things I was wondering was like, okay, how are they at the school? How are they chosen? Which it does explain that later on, but then some things I don't think are really clear, like with the possession thing. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm assuming obviously by the twist that that's possible, but I wouldn't, since they are already dead. I don't really think that was something that they could do.
Yeah, it was interesting because I'm trying to find exactly where the part was, but because I finished it and then I was with Heather and she was listening, she was kind of going between listening to the audiobook once she kind of got an understanding of the 6 POVs, and it was before the first trial and they were in the classroom and talking about the elemental magic and the psych magic, and they were literally like, when they talked about the psych magic, it was like, yeah, I don't know if they exactly use the word possession. I'd have to try to find it, but it was something about it was like, yeah, then your eyes get glassy and you get a nosebleed. And I was like, wait, like when
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Louise had the nosebleed, I didn't pick up on that because it was just this passing kind of comment about learning the magic in the classroom. But then later on, when they were like, oh, she kind of had this far off look like she wasn't paying attention, I was like, wait, maybe she's talking to someone, just like Ren and August were like, wait, we need to dance because it just looks like we're staring at each other. And when Emilio had said, oh, she's just staring off into the distance, I was like, oh, she's talking to someone in her mind, which wasn't what was happening. But so that's why I was like, I knew something was up with her, but I didn't know what. But then hearing that, when I was like, oh my gosh, there's these clues. So it was kind of cool to like hear it after reading it, because then a lot of the things that were presented made sense. Not a lot, but at least that thing. And so I wondered how many other things were kind of sprinkled in there that then gave those clues that we didn't know it even was a clue. So
Yeah, because they said that at first, I guess when you're new or you can't possess the shadow magic, only the Demian Order people could do that shadow magic stuff that she kind of shot out. So that's what made me believe that she was possessed by a Demian Order entity or person. And then when it got to the part about the nose bleeding and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yes, Louise has got to be a mole of some type, and she's being used and she doesn't really know, because she kept saying, I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that. So I'm like, okay, somebody must be controlling her movements or something, because she doesn't know what she's doing and she's saying. And then Irene was like, I kind of snuck in her, room and checked her mind, and no, she really didn't know that she was doing this stuff. So, I mean, that's what made me think.
Yeah, and that's why I was thrown off, because they can sense the Demians. And so that's why I was like, I had no idea the true connection that Louise had. That was the same with Ren. Like they had, or not Ren, sorry, August. Like you can still be working with the DO without that was my acronym for Demon Order, without giving up your humanity. So that's why no one knew that they were working with the demons, because at the very beginning it was like, you can tell who's a demon, like you can sense it. And obviously with the housemasters, the headmaster, the ascended, like they'd be able to find the demon. So that's why I was like, well, what is going on? She's using shadow magic, but clearly she's not a demon. So there was no way for us to know that like people could work with them and but retain their humanity, essentially.
Right. Like August. I mean, he was with them that whole time. I mean, he was first on my suspect list.
No, I did not get that.
I did not suspect him at all. And I honestly, like, I could sense that, or I believed that Louise didn't really know what she was doing, but it didn't even come across my mind that she was being possessed.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's just a red herring. Like, I obviously was suspicious of Headmaster Silas, but August, I did not predict that at all.
Yeah. Now, what triggered my thing with August was his disappearing, because he was like, okay, at some point we need to make this alliance with each other, and then he disappeared, and didn't come back, and he went after Ren. And I'm like, okay, he's like, he's acting kind of strange. So is he really part? Because when Silas said there was somebody with the Deviant Order that was working within them, and they needed to find out who it was, he was the first person I thought of. Because I was like, okay, he does act strange. He acts like he knows more about Ren and everybody, but he's not really paying attention to the others. He's mainly focusing everything on Ren. So I'm like, okay, so there's something about Ren that makes he keeps drawn to Ren, and they do have this little history or connection with each other. I said, but there's something about him that's just not right. There's something wrong with him.
And he
I
would
just
say
did.
that in his chapters. Like he would be
Yes.
like, I have to keep the, so it was just like hard to know exactly
Yes.
what he was involved in and what his secrets were.
Like, it's like you couldn't trust him. I was like, so is he trying to protect her, or is he trying to set her up? It's like, what is August's game here? I just couldn't trust him. That's why he was on my suspect list. I was like, I can't trust him, and apparently I was correct not to trust him.
I was blinded by the playful banter.
Yes, and I was like, they're good together and everything, and that's all cool, but something is not right about him. And I'm with Vanessa. I don't really think she really needed Emilio and the Olivier, whatever. I don't think they really needed to be a big focus with the multiple POVs, because I think she could have got away with it with just Ren, August, and Irene and Masika. Those 4 POVs. And even she really didn't even need Masika, because I like Irene. I think she could have just did it with Irene and August and Ren's POVs, and then sprinkled Emilio like they did the other ones, like Tristan and them, and kind of sprinkled them in throughout their chapters. I think they could have did that. I do believe she could have did that with Emilio.
Yeah,
and
it's hard because we
Oliver.
she showed so much that was happening in Emilio and Olivier's
Yes, and
point
their
of views
story.
that wasn't in the others, like with the resistance, like.
And you got that in Masika's too.
Yeah, and and Masika's, okay, yeah. But then it was like, oh well, Emilio was the one to grab the like demon magic book, and he was the one who was, investigating Louise. But it's like, could that have been someone else? Maybe it could have been. Yeah, because it was Emilio and Irene were both like stalking.
That was stalking her, because she kind of snuck in her room and like looked into her mind to see what was going on.
And see, I think it could have, because Emilio, Olivia, and Masika, all 3 of them were joining up with the resistance. I think she could have just done with Masika's POV and cut out Emilio and Olivia, and like the stuff that they did, the investigations that they did, we could have seen it brought up in one of the other characters.
POV, yeah.
Okay, I went to the library, I got this book, this is what I learned. We didn't need to have their POVs, just,
To say that, yeah.
But maybe that gave a little more like suspense, because we were in their POV so much. Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I did not think that Irene was going to be the nominee at all.
Nope.
So
y'all didn't pick up on that.
No. So I think that, I mean, especially with like Mateo, the whole thing with Mateo, and so it was like, it was because a lot of these reveals happen near the end. It was like, well, I would think Ren would be, would win the trials, but then we didn't know that like August was gonna turn on her and that he was really the half Demian, and so like it was, yeah, I think yeah, that just maybe she did that because it was like if there's only 3, and then I don't know, maybe it just made it more suspenseful of not knowing who it was.
I believe Irene was the winner because of her storyline needed to move toward trying to take down Silas and all them. And if she's in the Ascendant, she gets a closer look at the headmaster stuff for her to be able to join with the Mateo to take Silas down. I think that's probably why she won, because Ren was distracted with all the other foolishness with August and his sister.
She's the only one left. She's the only one who finished the 4th trial.
Who finished the 4th trial?
No one else sort of won, but it is cool that she did, because now she is like a mole for Mateo, which is kind of cool that she like did become the Ascended, but she's really the mole.
I liked her character.
How was I was kind of confused. Did you guys get how was Mateo showing up to talk to Irene, and like, because he's a demon, right?
The locket.
Where?
Okay. Yeah.
He gave her that locket and told her she said his name in it, it would call him and he would show up. So she kept that locket that he gave her.
And how did he show up the first time? I don't remember. Was it when they were in the trial?
I think, he showed up in one of the trials, I believe, and tried to convince her to go with him, and she was like, no. And then he told her, he said, well, if you change your mind, or when you change your mind, take this locket and say my name in it, and I'll come back to you. And so she kept the locket. Now, my point with the locket is you went through the rest of these trials and all the stuff y'all was getting thrown around and pushed through and pitched through doors and all that. How come you didn't lose that locket? I mean, you got dragged down in all kinds of stuff. You was falling through holes and going through doors and all that. But the one thing you held on to was this darn locket. Even when you was in your illusion stuff, your first thought was to talk into this locket to get Mateo to come and help you. But then the last trial, you're fighting. And you couldn't use the magic, so she couldn't even get Mateo to come.
Wasn't it like after? Was it after like the second trial or something? Because I know they couldn't heal themselves, but like, when did he say like you can't? Like we took all of your magic.
I think that was the third. I think it was after the third.
Oh yeah, because the second was they had.
I think they lost the magic after the third because they wanted them to go into the 4th one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Blind. Now the illusion one was the scariest one to me. The trial when they had to fight the illusions, that was creepy. I loved that.
Oh,
I love that one.
I was like, I want to see a movie of this.
Yes, because the illusion part was the creepiest, and I think the one that I like that a lot of them struggled with that the most. With the illusion, the third trial. I think it was the third one where they had the illusions, but
because that's when Olivier's replica stabbed.
Stabbed Amelia, and because he figured it out. He figured out what was going on. But I liked Irene because Irene wasn't no punk. She was like, let's just get this over with. Let's just jump into it. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. I'll go through the door first. She was just like gung-ho just to like get it over with. So I like the fire in her. That's why I like her character.
Introduced her as like a rule breaker from the start.
Yeah.
That's right. Trying to get the
I want to master all forms of magic. Like, let's go.
Yeah, she's like, I want to do it all. And then even though she liked Masika and she was her friend, she was like, I'm sorry, but deuces. I'm going to have to keep going. I was like, you just not going to say bye?
But see, then like he needed like Masika's point of view so that like when Catherine came in as part of the resistance,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then they could show the memoriam. They could show, then it having it's not just, oh, these random housemasters that they thought went to the
They thought
demoted
was
order. It's like, no, you know, they're part of this resistance and this person that you love. So that's why it's hard. Like she gave so many, but that's why I connected with them all, was because like they all had like this role, and maybe it would have been too much if it was all in one person, or, you know, wouldn't have had as much of an impact if we saw it through, you know, Ren or August lens,
yeah,
because we wouldn't have gotten their thoughts. So,
And I get included Masikas because of the resistance with and seeing Catherine show up with the resistance and stuff. So I get including that one as well.
Maybe Emilio and Olivier's could have been.
I just think like maybe 4 of the main POVs instead of 6 might have and then
like you're thinking Emilio and Olivier would have just kind of showed up in the other POVs, but then didn't have POV of their own.
Yeah. And I still think it would have been a good story even if she did it that way.
Yeah, just kind of like how Josie and the others showed up, but they didn't have their own POVs.
Yeah, like Georgia and Tristan, they were still in the stuff, but they just didn't have their own.
Right.
Masika's though, her illusion thing, I couldn't figure out if she like got through the illusion or not. Because the headmaster people showed up and I'm like, okay, is this her illusion? Is her illusion still going on? Or are they like really there?
I thought we were there and she with them.
Yeah, she got out of the illusion because the resistance saved her, like the other housemasters, And
because then it was like the glass came down and stuff, and I was like, okay, did she get out of the illusion, or did she?
I was scared I didn't know that. But then the resistance broke all of their soul vows, so now they can't heal themselves magically. But I think they have their magic back. They just can't heal, which is problematic.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, but I was really thrown off because. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I also thought that, and it'll probably come up maybe in the next book or something, but when August gives a part of his soul to Ren, I thought that was going to come up later on as well. Kind of like, because I was thinking, one of my thoughts was like, because they were saying people have to be eliminated and stuff. And so I was thinking, if one of them were to win and become the nominee, would that maybe save the other one from being eliminated because they share a soul?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, and so it definitely has to play a part in like the sequel, because it's like now, I mean, and August, like he was already too far into the scheme when he changed his mind and wanted to protect her. That's why he told her like, whatever you do, like protect yourself, which obviously she didn't do. But when has she wanted to listen to him? But like now, I feel like if something happens to either of them, there's a way for them to still be safe because of she has a part of him. And like, so that's, I was trying to figure out, well, how will that play if like one of them becomes like if he like decides to give away his humanity and become like full Demian, like what is that? Is he still not full Demian because Ren has a part of his soul in her? So can he, like, and what if she, because so it's just this whole like kind of play that I want to
Yeah.
see. I want to see how
Like
that
play
plays
out.
Yeah. But the other thing I want to see play out, which I was so shocked because I'm like, they keep talking about this soulless, what is it, the soulless one and everything. And when they said like, oh, they're like, oh, they want Ren, she's part of this prophecy. I'm like, oh my God, or like I don't know if I was thinking either the soulless one or whoever was possessing Louise. I was like, it's Maeve. It is Ren's sister, because she is trying to get back. She had unfinished business too,
Yes, she did.
and
Yeah.
she probably went through the whole trials. And so
Oh.
I'm like, she has gone through Blackwood Academy, no doubt. So
Yeah.
I thought for sure. So when it was August's sister, I was like, whoa, wait, it was supposed to be Ren's sister. Like I was
It would have
so
been
thrown off.
better.
So
Oh,
now
that
I'm
would have
like,
been cool.
is the
That would have
soulless
been
one
better.
Maeve? Yeah, I was like, because with it being August's sister, I know he kind of hinted like, oh, the past, blah blah blah, but like that kind of felt more like
And
at left wing, whereas Maeve would have made more sense. But maybe
Mhm.
Maeve is like the soulless one, and I don't know. She is alive, so
remember when there was a part where she was looking at Louise and she felt this familiarity with her, and that's why I thought as well that it was going to end up being her sister. I thought, her sister was going to be, she's going to figure out Louise is somehow her sister or something.
Mhm.
But the soulless one, I don't know if that would really make sense to me if her sister was the soulless one. Because I thought, and I could be wrong, but I thought the soulless one in all of this existed way before Ren and her sister died in their accident.
mhm.
So it wouldn't make sense if it existed. Because didn't they say something about the soulless one wanting revenge on Silas? I think.
Mm, I know.
Because
I think so.
Yeah, I wrote there when
they said because
the Demian Order are the students and housemasters who were banished when Silas took
Banished
over.
or
The
something.
original purpose of the DO changed after the soulless one arrived. Corruption
Mhm.
isn't born, it's created. So maybe the soulless one became like maybe it isn't Maeve. Like Maeve somehow is still around, whether she's part of the resistance or the DO or something. I don't know. Maybe she's not, but it would be cool because that would add
Yeah.
tension. But like, so that's the interesting thing is like we haven't met the soulless one yet. Like, was the soulless one created, like actually created from the corruption, or is it someone who was
there and got sent away or something, or
because they arrived after the Demian Order, huh?
didn't it arrive after Silas took over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
Which is,
But
I
maybe
knew
that's
something
why
was
they
up with
wanted.
they're
him.
assuming that it's not like someone is like inheriting the role type of thing. Like
Right.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
So it's going to be interesting to find out who the soulless one truly is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't understand why it was August's sister too. Or why it was Edith.
Yeah, Edith. Yeah.
I'm like, what's your deal? Do you not like your brother, or you don't want your brother to have a girlfriend, or I mean, what is your deal? It's like, what is your deal, chick?
I think she's like kind of brainwashed to like
Like, are you?
fulfill this prophecy.
She doesn't have her humanity anymore.
Yeah, she is.
Oh yeah, she is an order in the order.
Yeah.
He was saying that, like I'm interested for the pasts to get more fleshed out, because he was saying something about like in his memory, his past life, mom, sister, mansion like home was a cage. So like maybe they both died, together. They died together.
Or
yeah, we still
maybe.
don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see all the backstory too.
Yeah, a lot of the backstory wasn't really fleshed out.
Yeah.
But and so
well, I was just gonna say, and this is why it felt like to me we're in a sequel. Because there's a lot that wasn't fleshed out and not completely clear. So it just felt like we were picking up on like Booktube or something.
Another thing, when it was saying that they start losing their memories and stuff. So if Oliver has been there that long, shouldn't his memories already be all gone? Because he's been there longer than everybody.
Away. Like I think they were hinting that he's basically close to forgetting.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if he's been there that long, then his memories should only maybe have one memory left.
It starts around a couple of 100 years.
Yeah.
They slowly start to lose their memories.
Because he said he'd been there since what, the 1800s?
Yeah.
I think he said.
It's been a few centuries.
It's been a few centuries. I'm like, dude, you should only have maybe one or half of a memory left if you been there that long. I mean, I
also don't know how long it takes for them to
lose all their memories too.
Yeah.
And then like the ones that got eliminated, did they ever say where they went? What happened to them? No. I don't remember.
They just said they were eliminated and they made the students forget them. But yes,
they did say.
Didn't he like sacrifice them?
Yeah, they got fed to the ether.
To the ether, yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, they were.
It needed more than just the corrupt souls.
Yeah, they were needing it because the ether were like because of what Silas did. The ether needed the sacrifices to continue, so that they could continue like guiding the corrupted souls, which is and to restore true balance to the afterlife.
And that's another thing, the ether. I mean, is it a doorway? Is it a...
There's lots of doors.
Because they said it's a lot of doors. So it's like the ether. What is really what the ether? And I know it said that it kind of blocks them when they were trying to get through some of the doorways.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a
portal? Hard to picture. I felt like it was kind of like a stream.
Yeah, I was trying to picture what the ether would
doors
look like.
Doors and yeah.
Yeah.
That is a little bit hard to picture. Yeah, I didn't really.
Yeah, I was trying to picture it. I'm like, I'm coming out with a blank. What is the ether? Is it a circle? Is it a square? Is it a mirror? Is it a? I mean, I know
The ether is very, ethereal. Like, so it's like just very, yeah, I could see it as kind of being this like hazy
like
kind of,
a wave type
yeah.
So
thing.
also, do you guys get so? I'm still trying to put together the world in my head. So we have Blackwood Academy. We have the ether where
Mhm.
they
Mm-hmm.
take the corrupt souls. There's the Shadowlands. That's where the Damien Order is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Shadowlands, Blackwood Academy. So I guess the ether would be somewhere in between them.
Between that,
Yeah, it's on the outskirts of Blackwood Academy, but before the Shadowlands.
before the Shadowland.
Because yeah, I have written here the doors to the Shadowlands are locked with protective wards set by Silas.
Is it on the
Um,
map?
Oh yeah, that would be helpful.
Is
Um,
it? I don't see it on the Academy thingy.
Because
no.
yeah,
That's the
because it's on the
hall.
outskirts. Yeah,
Pennyworth is where Ren them
beyond the gate.
stayed.
I was so I'm just wondering because they said, with this prophecy, Ren is the catalyst of destruction and the destroyer of Blackwood. So I'm like, how?
Oh.
So it's like, couldn't she have hinted a little bit on why that is? I mean, it's good that Ren didn't know that she's this destruction piece to all this stuff, but
Mhm. But and then it's like, isn't it a good thing they're like guiding the souls,
so as
to
to,
rest, and then
Hmm.
the lost souls.
yeah,
So yeah, it's I think there's just a lot of things that we don't know that hopefully will be revealed. The one thing that kind of confused me about the world building was, where is it? Where did I have it? Oh, like Ren said a couple times, she said for Christ's sake. And so that threw me off.
yeah,
And I was like,
Oh.
well, so where does heaven and hell play a part in this?
yeah,
Like, is the beyond the ether, like, is that considered hell? So I don't know if that was like a mistake because
yeah. I put a
technically,
question mark when she first said that. I have a question mark right there. Like,
yeah.
what?
I was like,
What?
huh? They shouldn't. I was like, if Christ exists,
Yeah,
if like where is heaven and hell and God in this
in
whole
this, because y'all are in the
purgatory and
afterlife.
afterlife? Yeah, that was one of the things that I was confused about.
Well,
I was like,
Oh.
yes, I had a question mark beside that. And I put, don't be bringing Christ into your foolishness.
Ah! Yes.
Don't be messing with him. He ain't did nothing to you.
Yes.
Like, don't
I'm
play with him.
also wondering, like, or I guess I was kind of thinking that maybe something like that exists where a majority of the souls go, because if they're only taking corrupted souls to the ether, okay, what about all the other people who die? You have millions of people die every day.
Yeah.
Where do all these souls go?
Yeah, it was just weird that they didn't specifically say heaven or hell, which
Mm-hmm.
would be assumed because this is like purgatory. So I feel like the good people that don't have the unfinished business aren't corrupted souls, meaning they weren't evil, they weren't bad people when they were alive. They go to heaven. The corrupted souls are the bad people. They're destroyed. The ether consumes their souls, which is the hell, I'm assuming. So yeah, but it's like, because they know where it was specifically mentioned, like heaven or hell, it was all they ever mentioned was Blackwood is the purgatory, and then the ether is when you release their soul. So it was just like, it wasn't explained where everyone else goes. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially if there's people that accidentally died or died and it wasn't their time to die. Where do those people go?
I guess if they're not, I mean, because they have to be chosen, because there's only one person to go to Blackwood every decade. So like,
and that was,
I guess like they have to choose them, and then everyone else just becomes a lost soul that needs to be.
Well, so that's my other thing. Again, the world doesn't fully make sense to me, because the other thing they said was the students at Blackwood, there's like one every decade or so that comes in. But the whole thing about
every few decades.
Every
few decades.
And so, but the thing with the students is that they said the way you're chosen is by having a near-death experience before you die. Like, that's what they all had in common, was they had a near-death experience. But I would think there would be a lot more people that have near-death experiences.
Yeah.
That it should be way more than one every few decades.
So yeah, it seems like they're somehow chosen for Blackwood, but how and who chooses them? Chooses who is the one of the, obviously the many people that have had a neardeath experience with unfinished business.
Well, did they even really quantify like how many students there are?
No.
I don't think they did.
Okay.
I don't remember them saying anything.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Because it kind of made you think that the only people that were really students there was the people that he wanted to do the Sentinel, the trials. To me, it seemed like there was only about 12 students there, and 6 of them got picked to do these trials so he could sacrifice them. So then he had 6 left that he could sacrifice later on. In the next 10, because he has to do it every 10 years.
I think all 12 of them were in the Sentinel, because at least half of them were eliminated before main 6 started.
Before the main 6.
Yeah.
Right.
So did they have separate trials, the other 6 people? Or did they all go through the same trials and they just never talked about them getting eliminated?
They all went through the same trials.
Because it was those 2, it was at least 2 of, I think it was only 2 people that got injured in the first trial.
Right.
And then there was like 2 more in the second trial. Because that's when
because Tristan, Georgia, Tristan, Liz, and all them would have been part of the other the other 6.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
But that threw me off to know that, like, oh, he always does this. It's always a competition. Like, that was a twist I did not see coming.
Yeah. Silas got issues.
Well,
I knew he was sus from the idea. I was like, I don't know there's something that you're doing behind the scenes. I don't know what, but I don't like or trust you.
Especially when he told Ren to keep an eye on Louise.
Mm-hmm.
Get close to her and keep an eye on her. I was like,
Mm.
yeah, this school, they need to get out of this school because
The fact that it was always a trial was something that didn't surprise me because that one of my thoughts from the beginning was, okay, why do they just choose one nominee and how do they choose them? Because I'm sure, because they said this year, oh, we have so many talented and skilled students that we're changing it and making it a trial. And I'm like, I'm sure you would have had more than one very
mm-hmm.
talented, skilled student in the past. How is it they haven't done trials? How is it they haven't made this the competition before?
Right.
I didn't get how this was the first time it would be a competition, so that part didn't surprise me. But I am wondering though, like kind of to what Heather was saying, like how many students really are here. If you're only getting one new student every few decades, and then you're eliminating
Right.
11 of them every 10 years,
then you're going to run out of students.
Oh.
You're going to run out of
And
students.
people start forgetting,
right?
and then they eventually pass to,
right.
That's true.
other
They're
side.
actually going to leave because of
Yeah.
forgetting.
Huh.
So how are they going to keep students?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
The supply, like the funneling in, and
But it's also more recent. It's also more recent that we don't know how long he's been needing to feed the ether this way.
Well,
right?
It sounded like it's been a while.
I think it's been a while, like at least since he took over.
Right. They thought that Silas, I mean,
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it started when he took over, because that's when they said everything started changing. So.
And he's been there for several centuries.
Yeah.
And there's
and why ain't he sacrificing any of the headmasters?
Oh, you know what? Because then we should know by the Ascended, right? Because, which was crazy, all of the Ascended like chose the path of that, knowing that like 11 people were killed and, or I guess their souls permanently, gone, and their memories wiped. And Silas is like, yeah, they knew that was the only way that they could win. They understood that, and everyone else would have still done the competition regardless of them knowing that.
They say that, but I kind of wondered if maybe some of the previous nominees who won, if maybe their memories were erased as well to make them forget the other competition. Because it also seems odd to me that out of, however many nominees there are in the past, not a single one is racked with guilt and like thinking we can't do this again. Like, so I would have thought that probably they would have erased the winners' memories as well, just to make it easier, so they're not like racked with guilt and then later on try to do something to mess with everything.
Yeah. But they won't have to worry about that with Irene, because she forgot after she won. She forgot about the people that was in the trials with her after she won.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they wouldn't have to worry. She didn't even. I mean, she knows that they didn't make it, but she didn't care.
Mm.
Well, yeah, and I don't think it's that she forgot, but
No, no. I'm
it's
just saying.
Oh,
she
and
had other things to focus on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that she wasn't really thinking about them not winning. She was just happy she won because she had things that she was planning to do.
Right.
Not that that's why she didn't forget about them. She realizes that they didn't make it. She just had an agenda she was working toward, and she was happy that she won. So she wasn't really worrying about them. I mean, she had a small thought about Masika, but that was it. She still was happy she
Yeah.
won, so she could put her plans in order.
Right. I just the very last thing I wrote on here is hundreds in the Demian order, which is
Hmm.
really interesting because like she goes to the mountain base on the outskirts of Purgatory, and Ren sees hundreds in the DO, and so that is the students and housemasters who were banished when Silas took over, and all of the students, and I mean, I guess it could be housemasters too, who decide, no, I want to be a Demian. So
Hmm.
that's really interesting that there's hundreds of them. So, like, how many? Yeah, I'm really curious to know too. How many are left in
Yeah, I've
Blackwood?
left at the academy, and it seems like Silas is going to be outnumbered.
I was gonna say if there's hundreds in the DO, it doesn't
Right.
sound like there's hundreds at Blackwood.
Wasn't
Mm-mm.
a lot at in the Resistance as well? I thought there was quite a few in the.
Oh yeah, the resistance
I
folks.
don't know if I wrote down how many. Yeah, and then there's a lot of them that are actually part of the resistance. So there's a lot
There's
that
a lot going on at
aren't
this
there
at this.
anymore.
Yeah.
No wonder like the wards are weak and all of that, and
Mhm.
no wonder Mateo was able to kind of slip
Slip
through
on
no matter
in.
where, like because he's just like, no one's.
Really guarding like they should be.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Well, it
Interesting.
doesn't even sound like from the Ascended. It doesn't sound like there's many of them either.
No.
No,
Mm.
Hmm.
no. So her
Interesting.
next book is going to be very, very interesting.
I need answer. I need these
So,
answers.
Yeah.
because there's a lot of
Desperately.
stuff we need answers on.
Uh-huh. We unpacked a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot we need to.
We could keep
We
going.
need some
This was not an
clarification.
hour-long discussion. This one was gonna go over.
Yeah, we gotta get some clarification on some of these things.
Right.
We do.
And hopefully, the good people win
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
next book.
Does anyone have to go? Do we want to wrap up, or do we want to do some quotes, or is there any last-minute things that we haven't talked about that someone wants to talk about? I just want to make sure I'm respectful of people's time.
Oh, I didn't even think of
Over.
any. I'm sorry, I didn't write down any quotes. I was too busy trying to get the book finished.
No, you're fine.
I had like two quotes. One was at the very beginning and one was towards the end. The shorter one towards the end was from Masika saying to Irene on page 234, "Your past doesn't go away if you ignore it. The more you pretend it doesn't exist, the more it consumes you."
Ugh.
Oh
I
yeah,
like
that was a good one. That's a
quote.
good one.
And then, like, this was actually in the first chapter, but when Ren said pain, Ren never thought she'd miss it. The sharp prick of a paper cut, the stabbing pressure of menstrual cramps, the throbbing dull ache of a migraine. She craved it. They both did. It was why they tormented each other mercilessly, desperate to find ways to somehow, despite everything, still feel alive. But much to their collective disappointment, they were unsuccessful every time. So it's just like, kind of helps bring like that depth and perspective to like what it's like to be, you know, in this
afterworld phase.
Yeah, in this
Yeah.
afterworld. So I liked those quotes.
Yeah.
I had one from, oh wait, where is it? Page 431 with Ren and August. Where is it? Ren was, oh no, this was Olivier and Emilio. Sorry. You showed up, Olivier was saying this. You showed up and I swore I could feel my heart beating again. Sometimes I think I was never truly alive until I met you. I was like, oh,
Aww.
that's why I need you
That's
to
so
stay
sweet.
for me, even if that makes me selfish, even if you hate me for it, because the truth is I cannot bear the thought of eternity without you. Oh,
Aww.
Isn't that adorable?
That was a good one.
Oh, and then I loved was this Masika talking to Irene? Let me see. Page like pretty much all of 462 to 463. But you aren't a bad person, Irene. You cling to the idea because it's easier to do that than to face the person you've become. You want to run from the monster inside you, the darkness that follows you, but that isn't who you are. Let's see. You can't keep running from yourself. No matter what choice you end up making, no matter where you go, you will always be there. And it was so good. And so then at the end, she's like, when Irene blinked, the image of Masika vanished. The passageway had widened back to normal, exposing the path forward. Irene inhaled a ragged breath, hot tears prickling at her eyes, and faced the mirror once again. All Irene was left with was the one thing she'd always been truly afraid of, the real monster lurking in the darkness of her room, the one thing she could never escape, herself. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
That's a powerful one.
good.
Yeah, that's a powerful one.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Yes, I love those. Oh, Zuko's being good. Just sitting and now he's laying down while mommy's doing the discussion. Sorry.
Aww.
And so, yes, some fates are worse than death. I like the tagline. Very fitting.
Me too.
Yeah.
But so, if there's any other talking points or characters or plot points or theories about things that you guys want to discuss, join us on in the forums. There's a thread specifically for Immortal Consequences. This was a really good discussion. I knew it would be. It was nice to get all perspectives. And so please join us for our September Book of the Month pick, which technically started on September 2nd, because that's when the book released, which is Sisters in the Wind by Angeline Booley, who is very familiar to Diversity is Lit. This will be the third book by Angeline Booley that we'll have read. Also has a very similar sticker here. It is also a young adult Good Morning America book club pick. But yeah, super excited. We read The Firekeeper's Daughter, we read Firekeeper's Daughter and Warrior Girl Unearthed.
Yeah.
So, when the past comes for revenge, it's fight or flight. Ooh. So join us for that. We will be discussing this in early October, usually the first Sunday of the month. Around this time.
Yay.
But thank you guys so much for joining. I enjoyed this discussion, and we will see you guys next month. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.